My name is Hazim Gaber, and today we'll be doing an introduction to the Cisco CCNA 200 301. So, that is Cisco Certified Network Associate. So, in order to have your CCNA, let's just talk about this. What is a CCNA? It's basically the first level certification in Cisco, and above that is a Cisco Certified Network Professional. And then there's expert, oh, expert, and then architect. So CCNA is it's an entry level exam, and they'll say entry level. Some people typically need 2 to 3 years experience. Professional expert has a hands-on lab, and the architect. But you can challenge the expert if you're really smart. So you need the CCNA to do the CCNP, but you don't need anything to do the expert. So it's an 8-hour exam, and it's practical. And the architect requires a committee because there's a lot of it's not just knowing how to configure stuff. It's not as important as communicating with the CEO of the company or staying within budget. We're talking uh, $1 million projects here minimum. So in order to pass this exam, it's 90 questions, 2 hours. You get a score that's 825 out of 1,000, and you'll pass. But nobody knows. The weight of each question is not known. It used to be that there were many CCNAs. So there was routing, switching, security, cloud, community collaboration. So there were different streams you could do to get your CCNA, and each one focused on a different area. Because Cisco makes a lot of products. They make routers and switches, which is what everybody knows, but they make a lot of uh, telephones, they make a lot of firewalls, they make video conferencing, they make a lot of equipment that internet service providers use. So, but usually when people said CCNA, they were talking about routing and switching. So now you can only do routing and switching for your CCNA. There's no more. They've taken bits of each of these and they've mashed them together. So now we just have one huge topic. And it makes sense because if you're a network administrator, a lot of stuff is cloud managed now. So you need to know a bit about everything. Doesn't make sense that you just focus on one tiny area. Now, having said that, we're going to talk about what's actually in the exam. And when you do this course, I recommend that we're going to do, I won't say hands-on because I'm in a computer, but we're going to show you some physical Cisco devices, and we're going to log into them, and we're going to configure them. Because if you can't configure the device or can't understand the output, then it's not going to be much use to you. So I recommend that you buy either an emulator, and some that are free, which is basically a computer program that simulates the um the output of a switch or router, or you actually buy some Cisco used Cisco equipment. So buy a switch like a 2960 router, like a, I don't know, 800 series, or a 4321, or whatever. You can get some online for like $50 each, and you'll have a physical device to practice with. Or maybe you already work for a big company and you already know what you're doing. You just want the credentials. Um, then you might have some stuff to practice with already. So we're going to look at basically fundamentals. So how networks actually work. And this has nothing to do with Cisco. Just gonna look at physical, and we're gonna look at cabling, TCP and UDP and IP addresses. And then we're gonna learn about how switches actually work. This is a very important idea. How does a switch know how to route data? You might not know what a switch is, but you will at the end of this course. So then we're going to look at access. So we're going to look at VLANs, trunking, different protocols like PVST plus, and CDP, LLDP. So how when I plug a bunch of network devices together, how do they automatically know how to talk to each other? We're gonna learn about that. And then we're gonna also look at Cisco Wi-Fi and WLAN and wireless controllers and management. So Telnet, SSH, HTTPS, Radius. And then we're going to cover routing. So how does routing work? How does a router make decisions? And then how do we configure routing? We're also going to look at NAT, NTP, DHCP, so different services that the router provides. FTP, and then security, which is very important. So gonna look at security concepts, authentication, access control, VPN, DHCP, snooping, Wi-Fi security, and then this section is fairly new to Cisco, but it's important because this is probably going to be the future, which is automation. So we're gonna look at Cisco DNA. I'm gonna look at APIs. I'm gonna look at Puppet, Chef, Ansible, and JSON. I'm gonna look at controllers, controller-based networks. And so this is only 10% of the course right now. And fundamentals here are 25%. But I don't expect this number to change. I hope this number doesn't change because fundamentals are always important. But I think in the future, this needs more coverage security wise, and maybe this is going to be a much bigger part of the course. So automation is happening. Cisco uses a lot of or has bought out a lot of cloud providers like Meraki and Viptela, and I expect to see more